you got this news this morning, they were dropping charges. What was your first reactions? Did you think you'd find out so soon what they were going to do?
I didn't think it would happen this quick, but I'm extremely relieved.
Mm-hmm. Relieved because, I mean, you did what you had to do, didn't you?
I did what I had to do. I probably should have gone about it in a different way, but, yeah, we caught the guy. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. Alfred, the press conference today, it's obvious this really struck a nerve in the community there. What did the county attorney say about all this?
Well, the county attorney, we thought, took a pretty thoughtful approach. I think he looked at the law, he looked at the facts, and he was kind enough to say that that Dennis didn't do anything wrong, and that Dennis has been a member of the community and an honorable member of the community for the past 61 years. He's never been in trouble, I really think he did apply the law and the facts. There was a question from a reporter there about whether maybe the charges came down too fast, and that's certainly debatable. But in terms of reckless conduct in and of itself, in New Hampshire, a person is guilty of reckless conduct if he recklessly engages in conduct which places or may place another in danger of serious bodily injury. That's a misdemeanor typically, but in New Hampshire it's a Class B felony if a deadly weapon is used, and that's why it was charged that way. But in fact, now that the charges have been dropped, we can talk a little bit more about the details. And in this case, Dennis, there was no one else around. Dennis fired the gun about 8 or 10 feet into the ground away from the guy. The guy was coming at him, not in a menacing way, but it was coming directly at him at the time. And it accomplished its purpose, which was to stop the guy.
Absolutely. And Dennis, I got to ask you, I mean, there you are. Your house has been burglarized. As the attorney just said, you didn't shoot anybody. So were you surprised when the police turned around and they arrested you too?
I didn't realize it was a chargeable offense. I did not realize that, and I was surprised.
Yeah. Alfred, did the county attorney mention anything about the stand your ground law that's on the books up in your state?
He did not address it. Typically, this is a hot button issue up here, because that just came down. But he didn't address that specifically. No. Mm-hmm.
But you, as an attorney, when you found out that again Dennis, didn't fire the gun, and he held the suspect there, they actually caught him. He didn't get away. Were you surprised, considering what you've been involved in all your life as an attorney, that they arrested him right there?
I was very surprised. They actually didn't arrest him right there. What they did was they called him a few hours later and said, we're going to have to charge you. And the police, from what Dennis told me, were pretty apologetic and actually treated him very well. This is a small town in New Hampshire. And they said, listen, we have to arrest you. So Dennis went down to the police station and did that.
But Dennis, I'm sure you're thinking, hey, the last thing I want to, end up is in jail, considering what was going on and the fact that your home too was burglarized.
Absolutely.
I mean, do you when you look at your safety now, do you think about it more than you did in the past? I mean, do you think you'd carry a firearm all the time if you hadn't?
I'm not sure. I'm not worried about my safety at the house. Mm-hmm. I'm really not. As long as I'm home, I worry about when I'm not there, my house being burglarized. But I would have gone about things differently. I really would have gone about things differently. First thing I should have done was call the police. Mm-hmm. And then I still shouldn't have gone after him, but I probably would have anyhow.
Alfred, any idea if this suspect has been in trouble with the law before?
We actually don't know, but it's our understanding that he has burglarized a number of homes. Really, in my view, Dennis is a hero, and frankly, stopped a crime spree from what it appeared to be. The other thing that is interesting is that the guy actually apologized to Dennis at the scene, and he had taken a 9mm gun from the second home, the one that Dennis caught him basically crashing through the window out of, and but he had put it back, but he still had the clip of ammunition. So it could have turned into a bad situation pretty quickly.
Yeah, because Dennis, you said the guy, you were concerned that he was going to take you out.
Well, yeah, because he came out in the driveway, out of the woods, probably not 10 feet, 12 feet from me, and took a step or two towards me. That's why I fired in the ground, because I had to stop him, had to let him know I was serious. And I was, and he immediately stopped. I'm sorry, and he was very compliant from then on.
When you look at the interest this story has sparked, I mean, I'm sure you've heard from people all over the country about it.
I have, as far as Utah and Chicago.
And what are they saying?
They just applaud me. Do you need any help? Here's my phone number. If you need money for attorney's fees. I mean, it's been overwhelming. So obviously, this has touched a nerve amongst a lot of people across the country.
Well, and I think both you and Alfred agree. I think a lot of people look at this and they realize this could happen to anybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you think you're doing the right thing, and when you're talking about every second count, you got to make a decision. But as your attorney just said, you really are a good Samaritan considering what you did.
Right, and this was very, very controlled. It wasn't reckless conduct in our view, and obviously now in the county attorney's view, because Dennis has been a gun owner all his life. He's taken a safety course. He knows what he's doing. He didn't fire it into the air. He knows that the slug will come back down and could wind up anywhere. He fired into the ground specifically for that. He didn't fire at the guy, and there was no one else around. That was another thing that was a little bit confusing, I think, to people. Some of the early reports made it seem like there was a bunch of people around. They were right next to a home. He was, 60, 70 feet away from a home, and they were the only two people there. So we were prepared to go to a jury trial, obviously, if he had been indicted, and I frankly think we would have won.
Well, considering the concern it sparked around the country. Dennis, what about your gun collection? I know the police confiscated that too, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
And do you have it back now?
They have already called me, and I can go up and pick it up at any time, and I'm going to do that as soon as I leave here.